Thank you, Suat, for your introduction. Thank you all for coming in our conference. On this kind of subjects, we were talking too much in many cities in Europe, also here in Macedonia, but this is the first one that we are organizing, and for me is the hardest. Why? As Vasily says, in one night we smuggled or helped our authorities of our countries to solve a big possible conflict and a problem, and we transferred all these people from Greece to Macedonia, and it was much easier to be done in all that darkness than to talk in this way, even if it is almost all the time. I have a short presentation. We as the organization, we work from 2009, and we had different projects which in other countries in the world, which were kind of emergency actions that we wanted to do from our country and our citizens to some other people in the world. This refugee crisis started in 2015 for many people, but for us it was October 2014. When we heard about the first casualties on the railway, and we started being interested about this issue. Also, many people talked to us and they said that we have that they can recognize people walking on the highway from Greece to Macedonia. So we tried to organize ourselves and to send the first mobile teams to check the situation and to be there to talk with the people and to find a way to help them. When we saw what's happening on the highway, on the railway, we contacted some other organization which we were thinking that they have the mandate to do that, but actually because of their illegal status they couldn't, because of their statute, they couldn't help, they didn't have the mandate. So we decided to give the mandate to ourselves, because we were actually working with all these people in their countries. Also, we had communications with the Ministry of Interior Affairs, and especially to show them that what we are doing, that we are not smugglers, we're just people who wants to help some other people, and to find a way how to solve this problem. So we had almost every night mobile teams going from Skopje to Gevgelija, and also we had one assistant point in Veles. Everybody knows who are from Macedonia, even from abroad. Lenče Zdravkin was the person who lives near the railway in Veles, and we met in 2014 October, and from that moment we were always working together in a way that we supplied her, so she was almost all night, all that winter, with her family waiting for the refugees and giving them the aid. Later on, in 2015, we became also co-founders of the Facebook platform Help the Refugees in Macedonia. This happened in April 2015, when we saw the biggest accident, train accident where died 14 refugees. Many people wanted to do something. They joined our organization with their voluntarism, just to their activism to be official, and we didn't have any problem, because Yes, we were working on that way, and we wanted to have more and more citizens to show their solidarity in deeds. We made a lot of appeals. We explained to the people who wants to donate, because all this crisis and helping to the refugees was done by two kind of people. One of them were the donors, the noble people who were donating, and the others were the volunteers who were brave enough to work on the field. We had different ways how the people were donating by internet or coming to our office, and we were all the time outside and giving the aid to the people. We had a lot of volunteers who joined us, and we formed a couple of teams. One of them was team for medical aid. One of them was team for delivering the food and non-food items, and one of them was very interesting, the technical support team, which was for fixing bikes. It was an initiative done by our dear friend Hadis, who is a biker by himself. And you remember in 2015, many people used the opportunity to sell some cheap Chinese bikes to the refugees, which were not strong enough, and then all these bikes, after a couple of kilometers, break down, and the refugees couldn't continue. So this was one very good and noble action done by our volunteers, which helped all the refugees to continue. As I said, after the big accident that happened, we contacted again the Ministry of Police, and we asked to be changed the law of asylum. We gave them the idea to be taken the Serbian way, and it was accepted. And normally it was voted. Later on. Also, we worked with Human Rights Watch and with the Ombudsman for access to rights of the refugees from detention to Gazi Baba, because the Gazi Baba was in our neighborhood, but a big mystery for the public. And we were delivering humanitarian aid as much as possible, just to have their trust and to enter to this institution and to do something more for all these people. Why April? I will mention again. Those are some of the people who died in that accident, and they were buried in Veles. And this was the point when everything turned to be more alarmant in our society. Then, after April and after organizing our group on Facebook, we achieved to have 6 humanitarian points on the route, and to help the people from Gevgelija to Kumanovo. These photos are from Kumanovo Mosque, where was the last stop of the refugees. And we had other cities. This is in Demirkapia. And after the law was voted and the refugees got the right to travel by public transport, all these humanitarian points stopped working, and all the activities of all people of solidarity were concentrated in 2 points: Gevgelija in the entrance points and departure point of Tabanovce. We had a lot of volunteers, as I mentioned, from Macedonia, but also we had volunteers from abroad, international volunteers. First group was from the Czech Republic, and then we had from Germany. I mean, all the Europe, Americans were there, from France, and also from some locals. and it was not so easy to coordinate, because we were in that time coordinating Tabanovce, and the assault in Gevgelija was coordinated by the UNHCR. In the same time, we were working in the detention center of Gazi Baba, especially in the month of Ramadan, giving hot meals to the refugees, and it was a kind of excuse of ours just to enter and to be there and to have lunch with them, and to try to find a way how to liberate them, to find their way to the freedom that we achieved until the end of Ramadan, with many people being engaged. The journalists were engaged, some other organizations, the ombudsman, people were protesting in some ways, and the moderator, Suad Messini, he had a strike with hunger in front of the parliament for protesting what is going on in that detention center. And we were doing in all this time provision of aid. We were doing the coordination, as I said, in the north, and we had the cross-border activities. In this photo you can see that one of the visits of Josef Weidenholzer, one parliamentarian in the European Parliament, with Vasilis together in Idomeni, then Gevgelija, then Tabanovce and Preševo, and Vice President of?
ST group of whole European Parliament.
Okay, so high person. And it was important visit on all these spots of the refugees, so the European parliamentaries can know what is happening in our places. Normally, when the camps were created, we were focused not only just of giving food and non-food items, but also with the families, also with vulnerable categories of children, and this is something that was much better achieved and how to say coordinated when the other organizations came after September 2015. And then we had more partners in helping in the field in all this prison, and part of Skopje that was not interested about them, and we wanted to show them the real life and the people who were really interested. And this is the first train photo that I'm very proud of. When the first group entered in the train legally to go from Gevgelija to Tabanovce.
Glory day.
Yes, for us it was, because Macedonia was a black spot on their route, and now with this with the change of the law, we almost managed, we solved 90% of their problems. In the moment, we work in both of the camps in the south and in the north. The numbers are not so big. We work also with irregular migration in the village of Lojane, which is on the border in Serbia. We detect the pushbacks or the expulsions from Serbia. We help to these people with food and non-food items. We do some reports. We are trying to do our best in this situation, and to be also in situation to help because many medias are asking, and also the organizations are asking if there will be the second flow of refugees. So we think that maybe it will happen, and we have to be prepared. And we work, normally we have a lot of partners from the international organizations, we had before and still in the moment, and we are part of some movements and networks like Solidar and PICOM, and we normally work with all the national institutions as the ombudsman from the start, crisis management center after the crisis was established. We have memorandum with MLSP, with the Ministry of Interior Affairs, and we are helping in this way not just to the refugees who are crossing our country, but we are trying to help our state and our society not to be the black spot for the refugees in their route to Europe. This would be all from me on the way how we organized and how was the first response of the Macedonian citizens, and how one NGO helped to all the volunteers to do to express their solidarity on the field, and I expect some questions after. Thank you very much.